I know you're gonna dig this.
Well, for the second to one, and now they got the man trapped in third and taking out.
And 2nd and 2, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, Waddle, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
What's up, everybody? Happy Martin Luther King Day. Hey. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. So happy birthday to the young man. Hope you guys are enjoying the holiday, even though it is a little cold outside. They already gave us a 2-hour delay for school tomorrow. These soft kids. Soft. I remember walking in this kind of stuff. They so soft. Man, we walked through the snow, the sleet, the rain. Man, they making this. They just making it soft for these kids, real soft. But anyway, you guys, it's gonna be an exciting night tonight. You got the NCAA championship game. You got the Indiana Hoosiers playing against the Miami Hurricanes in their backyard. Wow! And from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of red and white down in Indiana. A lot of red and white down in Indiana. If anybody doesn't know, one of the richest men in the country went to Indiana, which his name is Mark Cuban. So the revenue that he's bringing in that place, man, is bananas, man. I'm going to tell you guys some stuff. You won't believe, you might not believe, but every team that was in the playoffs this year was in the top 10 of NIL money. So remember, listen to what I'm saying to you. Every team that's in the playoffs this year was top with NIL money. So you got James Madison that was there, and you got Tulane was there. They're in the top 10 in NIL money. We got Rich on the line. Rich, what's going on, brother? Rich, you there? Hello, Rich. Rich. Oh man, I keep hitting the mute button for some reason. Rich, what's going on, brother? Sorry for that. All right. Hey, so looking at this college thing, man. They said there's over 3 million kids in the transfer portal for colleges. The top quarterback, ranked number 1 quarterback, he's visited Indiana, Miami, and Ohio State so far. Believe it or not, man, for NIL money, Ohio State is number 10 out of the Big East. They're the only team in the top 10 when it comes to money in the Big East. I mean, the Big 10. This NIL thing is getting bad. It's not getting bad, but it's getting serious now. So you know that maybe sooner or later that they're going to be fine-tuning the contracts where if you leave, you got to give some of the money back. And I'm pretty sure they was doing it before, but now it's got to be a must, man. It has to be a must. So Mo, give me your thoughts on how this college, how college is handling this NIL, Is there a better way to do it? What suggestions that you may have? And Rich, you can tune in. You can elaborate when you get your opportunity. Go ahead, Mo.
I think the thing about it is we always knew that it was going to be money coming. Players were already getting paid underneath the table, and it sucks because most teams actually got in trouble for it, so they made it legal. But now the good thing about it is it's available to everybody. You know how it goes. You know what's available. But at the same time, some still have boosters that can pay a lot more. They can't control it. They're not going to be able to control it because it's money now and it's in their pockets. But the one thing that they're not competing against anymore, they're not competing against the other sports. They're not competing against other colleges. They're competing against pro sports. Women athletes are staying in college. Men's athletes are staying because they're making just as much. So the college game is actually getting better. And the pro game is actually getting better too. Because then you're getting better quality players when they go into the pros. So I love the NIL because it's making it a level playing field while also making the game better. Everything that we see.
So let me ask you a question then. Do you think that we'll start seeing more players, say maybe football more so than basketball, stay 4 to 5, maybe 6 years, because you have the quarterback for Miami who's graduated. He said he's taking courses in
Carson
Miami,
Beck.
but we know he ain't taking no courses down there. He ain't doing that. He's looking at going to the pros. So do you think that you will start seeing more of that going on?
Well, we can talk about it in this draft right here. You got Dante Moore, who's going to be the number two quarterback that actually stayed at Oregon. We also have a Manning who went back to college because of the
This
money he's
call
going
is
to
being
make.
recorded.
So he could have been the number one draft pick.
Okay, so all right, okay, all right. So I want to write something down because you said something about Manning and what's up? What's
Arch could have been the first draft pick.
what's the other quarterback you mentioned?
Dante Moore
From
at Oregon.
Oregon. Yeah, Moore.
He was going to be number two.
Okay. Rich, what's your thoughts on that?
Sorry. Okay. I mean, okay. I don't like the portal as built.
Okay, if you could change it, how would you change it?
I would change the portal so you can only transfer 2 times. And you can't transfer in your freshman year. So you have to play 2 years or 2 years at a university before you can transfer. I mean, I feel like you have to put something pretty substantial on film before you can transfer.
Okay, so let me
As far as
play double advocate on this one. So if you're saying that they can't transfer into their sophomore year, right? What if they're not playing on that team? You see, only thing. Okay, let me put it like this: iron sharpen iron, right? So, do you see that? Do you see that becoming a problem if they do that? Because now, if you can't transfer into your sophomores after your sophomore season, now you do have something on film. You do have something that other teams can look at. So, what do you think about? I mean, you're a freshman. You're a freshman and you're not playing. Okay, then you become a sophomore. Now you know you got to fight juniors and seniors and maybe another freshman to get some playing time. So how do you think you get on that field if you're not a starter?
I mean, I feel like, these universities have the facilities for you to practice and get some film on these guys.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be game film. It could just be practice film.
Okay.
But I feel like you have to build your repertoire. You know, you're transferring because you're not getting any playing time, but then you go to a place where it can be the very exact same thing because of what you put down. So now you left a situation where you weren't getting time, but you were under scholarship. And so now you lost it all to go to the portal to not get picked.
Okay. We got Lou and we got
maybe.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Maybe if you could be nominated for the portal by the coaching staff, like you say, okay, I'm not going to get playing time. The coaches said it. I think you should be able to be nominated by the coaching staff to enter the portal because the coaching staff knows the type of player you are, and if you could get picked up, or they can advise you that it's a bad idea.
Okay. We got Curry and we got Lou on the line with us. Welcome, guys. Curry, how did you hear us talking about the NIL deal? Because I want to get your opinion on it too.
Yeah, that's off the tail end of it.
Okay, so if you could be in charge of the NIL, how would you handle that going forward?
Well, there's really no real way to govern that because if you think about it, the NCAA really doesn't really have anything to do with that. They can step aside of it and say, well, we wash our hands up. They leaving it up to the institutions to do it. But the only thing about that is, you know, I always thought if they had a cap where you could say that you only gonna make this amount. But the only thing about that is all the money doesn't necessarily come from the colleges. A lot of it comes from local businesses and just millionaires that want you to come to that college because they want a team there, so they'll pay you extra money. So you have no way of knowing what these guys are going to get under the table. So I don't know how you can fix the NIL. I think it's just completely out of control, and I just don't think we'll ever be able to fix it.
Okay. Lou, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think so either.
What's your thoughts on NIL?
I got to go further. I don't think there's a way to fix it. I mean, all you know is control it. I don't see how you can fix it.
Okay.
There's way too much control. Yeah, but I think thought we stuck with it.
Okay. So Mo brought up the situation where Manning was he's going back to college and Moore is going back to college. Now, I think both of them went back. I think Manning went back to college because he wants to be the #1 draft pick next year, right? I think Moore went back to college because he didn't want to get drafted by the Jets. Quiet as it kept. Nobody wants to go play for the Jets. Nobody wants to play for the Jets as quarterback because they need more than just a quarterback, right? So you see a lot of quarterbacks not going in the draft. So the only two you have is Fernando, and you got the kid from Alabama. Then I think the kid from Ole Miss is putting his hand. I think he's going. He said he's going back, right, in college. But then I saw a draft that they had him picked going to. I think it might have been the Rams. I'm not for sure. I tried to look it up. I didn't have enough time to look it up. But I think in like Mo was saying, money wise, it's feasible for them to stay in college. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's not gonna go to the pros. And you look at some of the players that feel like they're not gonna be in the top 50, or like the first round was everything's guaranteed, or second round, well, you should make the team. Third, fourth rounds should make the 5th, 6th, 7th. That's a whole different story depending on how you drafted. But again, I think with the NIL, there's gonna be a lot of fine line prints going on. And I'm pretty sure the players got agents, and the agents go through it like a fine-tooth comb. But I think that, like Curry said, that It's out of control and it can't be stopped because you look at Indiana, right? Who's a basketball school, who is now a football school, and the likes of Mark Cuban, they'll probably be a good football school for a while, right? And so I just looked up the estimated roster cost college playoff teams from 25 to 20 from 2025 to 20 for 2025 to 2026. Here are the estimated roster costs for 2025 college playoffs teams. The team's roster cost is used rather than the team payroll, since athletes are currently not considered employees of the college athletic department. Our estimated average is just under 26 million per team, or approximately 15 million in direct pay by school via revenue sharing. 11 million is paid via through NIL. At the top of the board, you got Texas A&M from the SEC, $34 million. You got Ohio State, $33 million. You got Texas Tech, $28 million. You got Oregon, $26 million. You got Miami, 24. You got Oklahoma at 23. You got Georgia, Mississippi at 23. Georgia at 22. Indiana at 21. Alabama at 20. And then you have Tulane, and you got Tulane and Madison, who actually got into the bowl game because they won their conference, right? So if Tulane and Madison and James Madison can do what they do with the players they're getting, and their NIL money probably is nowhere close to what these other schools are getting. And there's probably been some prominent people that went to Tulane and James Madison, just not as many as they went to Texas A&M. But that's all about oil money down there. Ohio State, Texas Tech, Oregon, you got Nike there, and then you got Miami, you got their alumni is probably shelling out some money. Indiana, you got Mark Cuban, who sold the Dallas Mavericks, and he got all that money sitting there with dust on it, blowing off. Let me go spend some of this money on NIL deal, NIL for players to play here in Indiana. So that's gonna be the biggest issue. The only problem I have is like you got Beck, who is in his 6th year of college football, right? And he's playing for Miami. He's saying he's there to get a degree, some type of degree, but he already got his degree from Georgia. He said he's working on his master's. Mo, you got a master's, right? Can you get a master's in 1 year? Is that like speed dating?
It's possible. It's possible because you can get usually only 36 credits.
Wow.
So credits per semester.
So if you're going to a master, if you're trying to get a master,
and athletes have to take 9 at least.
Okay, so if you're looking at a master's degree, what are the courses like? Are they all about writing papers, presentations, graphs? What is it all about?
Depends on the degree. My MBA was about real world experience in business. So, but there were math classes. There were things that you had to write papers. You had to work as a team. In my doctorate classes, it was a lot of papers.
How big was your one paper for a doctorate?
Well, the dissertation is what I'm still working on, so I don't have my doctorate yet. But most doctorate papers were about 6 to 8 pages. But that includes like the cover page and also your reference page.
Okay, so is it safe to say that AI is helping some of these people with these paperworks?
Oh yeah. No question. AI will make it so much easier now to get a doctorate.
Yes, it very is. It's so easy to especially to do it from home. Sometimes you could,
but a lot of colleges are using documentation to actually make sure to see if people are using AI.
Okay, and that's good. You should be, when you get to that level, you should be There should be some double checking, triple checking on what you're doing there. On the live feed, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to call in, phone number is 512-543-4662. You can call in if you like. Like I always say, if you call in, bring a friend. So, Mo, who you got tonight?
I guess I'll do it this way.
Guess I do it this way.
Indiana, baby.
Indiana, baby.
Indiana.
I ain't going for the U.
I ain't going for the U.
Okay. Because you was the only one I didn't get. Dana and Dana's going for Miami. Curry, me, Lou, and you. Hey, Rich, who you going for?
Indiana.
All right, guys. In tonight's game, who do you think gonna be the key players in this game? Do you think it's gonna be Miami's defense? Do you think it's gonna be Fernando with his arm? I think health wise, everybody's good on both sides of the football, if I'm not mistaken. So they should have all their starters in. So what are you guys looking for? Me personally, I'm looking to see how good Miami's defense is and if Beck can handle this. I'm not saying Beck can't handle it, but he has maturity. He has the maturity to. Beck has the maturity to. He's won a national championship before with Georgia, so he has maturity. But it's just like something. It seems like something's missing with him in Miami. I don't know what it is. But I just want to see a good game. Anybody else got a comment on the game or not about the Miami game? Go ahead, Curry.
Oh, I think the beginning of the game is going to be real critical for Miami because their secondary is not 100%. Plus, they got one of their starters that's going to be suspended for the first half of the game because of that targeting call that they had last week.
Yeah.
Last game. So he won't get to come into the second half. And then one of their other cornerbacks is not 100%. So you might end up seeing safeties playing corner. So I think the beginning of the game is going to be real critical for Miami because if Bain and Mesidor can apply some pressure, then that will take some of the weight off of that secondary. But I can tell you right now, if they don't get to Mendoza, he'll pick that secondary apart. And that game could conceivably be over at halftime if to your point. I'm not saying it will.
Right, I get that.
I'm just saying that it could be if that secondary don't hold up long enough to get that key player back in there in the second half.
Okay. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So real quick, again, I want to get to some baseball news out the way. Carol Tucker to the Dodgers. Bullshit to the Mets. Shit to the Mets. Is Mo, being a Yankee fan, is the New York Mets going to be the team that's going to spend money now, or what's going on? They're going to be the one to bite the big apple this year.
Yeah, the Yankees are not going to spend money.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think the Yankees
with him getting $60 million? We are not paying $40 million
for Belichick.
Well, so Cody Bellinger wants what?
He wants 40.
Actually,
he wants 45.
Whoa.
45.
He ain't making more than Judge. Judge is making 40.
Judge is making 40.
Cal Tucker shouldn't make more than
Cal
Judge.
Tucker shouldn't make more than Judge.
People. What you call it? Soto shouldn't have made 50.
Soto shouldn't have made 50.
Well, you know, Soto was greedy. He went to the highest bidder. Let's be real about that. He went to the highest bidder.
I'm just saying though, because of Ohtani's contract, people think that you can pay a hitter that much. Ohtani wasn't paid that because he was a hitter. He was paid that because he does both.
Right. I agree.
And now they're giving Cal Tucker $60 million. That don't make any sense.
Rich or Curry, could y'all use Cody Bellinger?
The Red Sox definitely should. Not for $45 million.
But not for 45. Is he going to price himself out of a team?
He's going to price himself out of the Red Sox.
What's your thoughts, Curry?
Yeah. I don't know. I really haven't been that focused on off-season baseball that much, so I really couldn't have an intelligent conversation about it for right now because till about spring training, I'll probably get kicked. I won't be kicked in until then.
Okay. So, Mo, Steelers head coach. Any words on who could be the next coach for the Steelers?
I really think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be Shula, your defensive coordinator for Rams. And then I think we also take your passing coordinator as our offensive coordinator.
He says you talking about the ones y'all interviewed Shellbass or something like that. I think that's who you're talking about.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He said he wants. Did he interview with y'all? Because I heard he didn't interview with nobody.
He hasn't interviewed with us yet. I don't even think Shula has interviewed with us yet.
I think he did. I think he did a Zoom interview.
Virtual one.
He did a Zoom interview. I think he did a Zoom interview. Yeah, but the other guy, Shellbass, is saying what I mean. He said he wants to stay there. Since they gave him an opportunity, he wants to stay with Los Angeles, which is surprising to me because if you can become a head coach, why not go ahead and do it? Or you could be an offensive coordinator, why not? Or defensive coordinator, why not do it? I'm just saying, you get your opportunity because it's
maybe he doesn't think he's ready. He's young.
He's young.
He is young. He's real young. So bringing his name up, I was kind of shocked at that right there. Also hearing that y'all open the door to bring Aaron Rodgers back next year.
I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
It'll be up to the coach though. And Aaron Rodgers is definitely waiting for the coach to figure out what he's gonna do.
Do you want him back? Is the question.
I would be fine with him back. I think it would be better if we're getting a young coach to go with Malik Willis though. Or trade for Kyler Murray. Because I think our offense is going to be totally different.
Well, I'm going to say this. If you get somebody on the offensive side of the ball from the Rams, it's definitely going to be different. It would definitely be different. It would be a more wide open spread type of offense than what you're currently running right now. So it's
mm-hmm.
I thought it was my man. I thought the linebacker for Pittsburgh, linebacker coach or the defensive coach for Minnesota would have been the coach to come in. And did they interview him? What's his name? Come on, my mind.
They're planning to. Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. Yeah. I see. I think he would be a good fit for that team.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. Go ahead.
They have given Anthony Weaver 2 interviews. He's going for his second interview. He's the defensive coordinator for the
Dolphins.
I thought they were saying Anthony Weaver was probably the head. He was a front runner for the coaching job in Baltimore because he has ties down there in Baltimore. I heard that as well.
That's where he came from. Baltimore.
Yeah, he used to play there.
What do you guys think about Stefanski going to the Falcons? I like it a little bit, a little shaky, but I like it a little bit because he was with Kirk Cousins before when he was in Minnesota. So they have familiarity with each other. So I think that might have been the reason why he went down there. But my thing is, I wonder how much Matt Ryan had to do with him going there, because the thing is that the fans are upset because of how he did, how he handled Shador. And I'm gonna be on Kevin's side on this one. Is like, I felt like ever since he's been there, he's never got the quarterback that he wanted. But he won Coach of the Year 2 times, right? Won 1 playoff game and lost 1 playoff game. So I'm saying to myself, if you were to give him the quarterback that he wanted, things might have been a little bit different. If they'd have got Josh Allen, things probably would be a little bit different compared to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but you're not. I mean, that's the wishes for horses, and beggars to ride. But the thing is, you're not going to always pick the choice that you want as a head coach, because you're not really picking the players. The general manager and owners are picking those players. But I can understand why the Atlanta Falcons fans can be a little disgruntled with him, because, and I don't mean this in no disrespectful way, but the Atlanta Falcons probably have one of the largest African American based fan base
for sure
in the NFL.
For sure.
So they're going to support the fact that they know that they feel like it was personal between him and Shador. And Deion Sanders, he's spoken out that he would not go to not one of their games, and he's an Atlanta Falcon man. But he said he was definitely not going to not one of their games.
Who, the Atlanta Falcons game?
Atlanta Falcons game, yes.
Oh. So, but see, now this is my thing. If this is where I would love to know, how much do the coaches have as far as them drafting players? Because if you got a GM, if the GM don't give you the players that you need, then the GM should be fired. You don't fire the coach because the GM says, okay, this is the best player for us, and you're sitting there saying, yo, this dude's not gonna work. This is not gonna work. And I'm gonna go back to draft day with the Cleveland Browns when my man went out and did what he did and how he did what he did. He told the coach, he said, if you don't like what I'm doing, you can quit. You can quit. You can quit right now, but let me do my job, right? And at the end of the storybook ending, he drafted well because he flipped some things around, and turned some pixie dust into some magic, and they got what they got. But my whole thing is this right here. If the GM is the one that's picking the players, right, then he should be the one to get fired, because it's not the coach's fault that you're not giving me the players I need to withstand, to make a good team. I mean, you look at it, he got Baker Mayfield, he didn't want him. Then you go out and get Deshaun Watson, he didn't want him. And he probably didn't want Shador. He probably didn't want Shador. He probably didn't want the kid from Oregon. He probably didn't want them. And that's why I think that they won the games. They won them so they couldn't be in the situation where they actually could draft a quarterback this year. Because if they was one, they definitely would have went to my man from Indiana, Fernando. They definitely went for him, because I think he's one of a kind. But again, you look at like the Giants. You don't fire the GM, but you fire the coach. Buffalo, right. You fire the coach, but you don't fire the GM. But the GM
got promoted in Buffalo.
The GM did not address the issues that needed to be addressed for the Buffalo Bills. After you got rid of the wide receiver that's in New England right now, what wide receiver had they brought in there for him to play with?
Well, Kevin, I think you can hit the nail on the head, many times when you say that when you give that quarterback a big bag, and you can't afford to go out and get these other players, and that's probably what the Buffalo Bills probably fell into that. They just probably couldn't afford to go out. They gave Josh Allen all that money, and then that was that defensive guy they gave all that money, Von Miller.
They gave Von Miller.
So you just can't afford to keep going out there giving it. They're Buffalo's in salary cap hit right now. And you mentioned that guy, Stephon Diggs, when he left, I heard something today that he left him like a $19 million, cap hit there. So it's just, I think you hit the nail on the head all the time when you say when you give that quarterback all that money, you almost can't afford to get those players. And look at New England. New England's got their quarterback and a bunch of players on a rookie contract. Now, wait till they have to pay Drake May. They gotta hope they get that championship before Drake May wants his money. Once he wants his money, you'll have to give him that money. And then you'll have these other players, they're gonna want money. Who you gonna pay? You can't pay everybody.
And then again, that this is where you got to give Tom Brady some credit for that, because Tom Brady was never the highest paid quarterback ever in the NFL. He said, "Surround me by some good players, and we'll make this thing work." Right? So if you think about that, in a sense, he got paid, but his endorsements also helped him out, right? TB12, which is a backdoor conversation for one day to have about.
His wife made more money than him.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tom Brady didn't need the money. He had a wife $300 million.
That's why she cheated on him.
So he didn't need the money.
That's why she cheated on him.
Got no wife, that kind of money.
But I'm just saying though, if you think about it though, they did things the right way. Now the thing about it is that they still have salary cap money left over, right? New England gonna have money. They're gonna have money. So right now, looking at Buffalo, let me see here.
Well, even when Tom Brady was not taking all the money, they didn't really bring in no star receivers. The only one they brought in was I can't call his name, but the one was on ESPN. Randy Moss. Randy Moss. They didn't bring in a ton of big name wide receivers.
No, they did. But what I'm saying though is they left, but the money, there was never a money issue with them when Tom Brady was there, because again he had endorsements.
Right. That's because Bill Belichick refused to pay people. He would turn them loose before he pay them.
So right now, Buffalo is they're 25th in salary cap. Once this new TV deal come through, they're like minus $7 million. So they'll probably be in a plus somewhere. So they still won't be able to get nobody. But the thing about it is though, if you look at it like this, okay, you fire the coach, you keep the GM. If you don't address the issues that need to be addressed, then why do what you do? We talked about Dermott being on the hot seat. We figured that we'd wait till next season to see him get fired. And I thought because there were so many controversial calls in that game against Denver, they was gonna give him another year, give him some more time to see if he could fix this ship by drafting the way they need to draft. But again, if you got a GM and the coach is not on the same page, what I'm starting to find out is that's the case with a lot of teams, because if you look at it, I'm just trying to think of, like, Harbaugh will have a lot of influence who New York drafts, because he's a proven commodity. Sean McVay will probably have, I think the coach for San Francisco 49ers will have a say so. I don't know if there's a lot of other coaches like that that's out there that says, hey, I want to go get this guy. What is this guy ranked at?
Andy Reid.
Between Andy one Reid. And who? Who'd you say, Bo?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Kansas City. Yeah. I would say Kansas City too. I got a question for you about Kansas City in a little bit later on. But I'm just saying, though.
Vrabel as well now in New England.
Well, yeah, he's already he's from there, so you know he probably
and
has to say
Sean Payton in Denver.
Yeah, Sean Payton. I couldn't think of everybody. I would agree with those names you brought up too. Have a big influence on who drafts. But then if you think about, we just named what.
You know who doesn't though?
Who?
Sirianni.
Oh well, I would, because again, that's a mess.
The only person that gets credit there is Howard. That's why we got Waddle in Philly.
From Philly.
And I mean, he does a good job drafting.
He gave credit to nobody.
He does a good job drafting, as well. And Nick don't get the credit he deserves to get, in my personal opinion. I think everybody feels the same way. We know AJ Brown probably be gone after this year. They're gonna probably trade him for a third or fourth or whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying though, out of 30 teams, we might have named 8 coaches that probably have some type of influence on who gets drafted. And then you got a GM there that's not seeing eye to eye. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the GM for the Browns and Stefanski came in at the exact same time. They both was there together, which makes it kind of weird for me that he didn't get fired either, because and the reason why he probably didn't get fired, he went to the owner and said, look, man, you wanted me to go get Deshaun Watson. I got him. Look what happened. Because the Baker Mayfield was the GM's choice. That I was so mad. Oh my goodness, I was mad at that draft. Mo, you know who I wanted? I wanted Josh Allen so bad. I wanted him. And it went for Baker. I was like, oh my God.
That was a different GM though.
Yeah. No, the same GM. That was the same GM. He's been
Andrew
there.
Berry was the GM now. Andrew Berry wasn't there. It was a white dude then.
No, Andrew Berry had been the GM for Stefanski's been there, what, 6
He wasn't
years?
there. It was a white dude. I remember him saying, no matter what, draft Baker Mayfield.
Was it Paul what's it? Paul DePesco or something like that?
I think so.
Okay.
That's pretty bad. I'm telling you about your GMs.
No, because I'm trying to think though. I thought him and
he was hired in January 2020.
Yeah, he was there. And Stefanski came in 18.
Baker Mayfield was drafted in 18.
So it wasn't. It was the
That's pretty bad. I'm telling you about your team.
John Dorsey was the general manager.
That's pretty bad. I'm telling you about your team.
Man, I ain't got time to remember the GMs and all that stuff. I can remember the coaches and the players. I don't care nothing about the GMs, because as you can see, the GMs are not doing what they're supposed to be doing in Cleveland to make this team an active team to win some football games. So I don't care about the GM. I don't even like the owner. Let's be real about it. I don't like the owner. Get rid of him too.
No, let's be honest. You don't like the team either. You hate Pittsburgh more than you love Cleveland.
You sound upset.
I am upset because I don't like the owner. I want him to sell the team. I don't like him, period, to the end. I don't like him.
Yeah, Tom.
Never did like him. Don't like him. He got to go. Make him sell that team. And because they get a new stadium, he's probably not
going. When I hear fans be talking about they want the owner to sell their team, where do you get out? I'm not just you, Kevin, but I hear fans, especially Thompson fans, saying that Steve Ross needs to sell his team. When does somebody come up and tell you need to sell your house?
Well, what do you think?
We don't like when you get your grass.
But let me ask you a question, though. And I truly believe this in my soul, that teams go into the season knowing they ain't gonna be diddly squat. They draft, say, we might as well go ahead, let's just draft these people because we're not gonna be really good this year. We already know what but Butters are bred, and that's not in this draft right here. So when and the thing about it, the fans of all teams are so educated, they know when you hoodwinking them, bamboozling them, they know that. They know when you're not doing something that you need to do. Like the Browns gave up. What's the wide receiver that went to the Atlanta Falcons? The big guy. Oh my goodness, I can't think of his name now. The Browns traded a draft pick for him to go to Atlanta Falcons. I can't think of the wide receiver's name now. They did that so much in the past. It's unreal. It's unreal. And so again, how do you fire the coach when the GM is one? The GM is giving you not giving you what you want or giving you less than what you want, and expect you to win.
Wait a minute. Why are you talking about them trading that when y'all traded the pick that went to Kansas City? To actually pick Patrick Mahomes.
That too. I'm just saying. They do some of the stuff they do don't make. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get the player they want at number 5 or wherever they drafted, they may flip that. They may flip it because they have no idea. No, the Cleveland Browns have no idea what they're going to do. Shedeur Sanders was the quarterback at the end of the season.
Dude,
they don't even think he's going to be a starter next year. They're looking to bring in a free agent quarterback, and Deshaun Watson's name is still being mentioned. What coach wants to go to that dysfunctional team? Who?
I tell you what, Houston would take him back right now.
Houston. Stroud needed to start using his feet.
Stroud looked pathetic.
He needed to use his feet. But that's cold weather for you when you play in the dome all the time. That's they haven't played in that type of weather since
he played at Ohio State.
But not like that, man. He ain't never played no weather like that. He ain't playing no weather like that.
He played at Ohio State.
Think about we're in January. We're in January. Their season's over with in January. Or if they're playing a national championship game, it's in a dome. It's in a warm climate place. It ain't in the cold. I'm not giving them a pass. But the thing about it is, though, a team like that, and they go into that type of weather, and both of them, both teams had opportunities to win the game. You know what I'm saying? But Stroud should have used his feet a little bit. But getting back to what we said, my thing with the GMs is this right here. You fire the coach, but you keep the GM in Buffalo. That makes absolute sense to me. Absolutely no sense. No sense to me. I got somebody on the line, but you got background noises. Can you quiet it up so we can I'll mute you. You have to unmute yourself. I'm sorry. So again, guys, I'm just saying, right? If the GM and the head coach got to be left hand, right hand, the better situation you have with those two, the better off you are. But again, if you don't have the relationship with them, then where does it go? You know, I mean, did Sean Dermott need to go from Buffalo? Probably so, right? But then you don't give him no wide receivers since what's the name left. Only thing he's throwing to was tight ends. Now, is it Dermott's fault that he threw 4 interceptions on Sunday?
Well, let me interrupt if I can.
Go ahead.
That play at the end of the game doesn't have anything to do with it. That last game had nothing to do with Sean McDermott being fired. You got to look at his whole body of work. And before that game, would you say that he was on the hot seat?
We all thought he we all thought he was on a hot
He was on the hot seat.
because
Well, that's why I mentioned to you guys that if things in Jacksonville, that he probably would be out then. But he somehow squeaked that game out. But that was no surprise to me that they got rid of him. But now back to your saying the coach and the GM has to be able to coexist and be on the same page. See, that's why I thought Brandon Beane would have been gone too, because Brandon Beane came from Carolina. He brought Sean McDermott with him. I thought them two would have been tied at the hip. So the only other one would have got going.
Exactly.
McDermott and promoted Brandon Beane.
Yeah, that to me that makes no sense at all. It really doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't make any sense to me that happens that way. If you get rid of one, you get rid of both and start all over. But again, you come in with a new head coach, come in with a new general manager and let him choose the coach. And now that's a coach that he chooses, he likes, then okay, we're cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm like, Josh, and the thing about it is, when we talked about Josh Allen and we talked about Buffalo maybe being on hot seat, was that we said there was no quarterbacks in Josh Allen's way to him not get to the Super Bowl this year. But he had 4 turnovers. The 4 turnovers killed him, right? You're not gonna get rid of the football player, but you get rid of the coach. The coach didn't play the game. He called the game. He didn't play the game, but you fired the coach. I find that a little disturbing if you don't get rid of the GM, because the GM didn't bring anything to the table for him. I'm confused.
And if you're a Buffalo fan, you don't see all those. You don't see those 4 turnovers. And if you're a Buffalo fan, you don't see that holding in the end zone, which should have ended the game as a safety.
Yeah, that holding.
All you see is that last play where that was that interception. That's all Buffalo you see. But there's many layers to that thing, man. That they just gotta. They had to move on from Sean McDermott.
So speaking of the last play of the game, so I said it was a catch because his knee was down. Right?
Right.
The same thing happened to Davante Adams yesterday, and they said his knee was down. He was down by contact. So so this is my whole thing right here. The NFL still don't know what a catch is a catch. They still don't know what a catch is.
Did the defender end up with the ball from Davante Adams?
Yes. 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 And then the same thing happened in another game, I think yesterday. Mo, what you gonna say?
Davante was down. Brandon Cooks was down.
Davante
was down.
Aaron
Rodgers was down. You either call them all the same way, or you call them the other way.
But see,
Brandon Cooks was down.
That's what I'm saying. His knee hit the ground when once he caught the ball and the defender touched him, he was down by contact. See, this is what I'm saying. The NFL makes this sugar honey tea so obvious. The average fan don't know nothing. My wife even said to me, she said, "Babe," she says, "Well, wait a minute, didn't this happen the other game?" I said, "Yup, it did." She said, "Well, they called it a turnover." Yeah. I said, "Yup, they did." She said, "But Davante Adams not a turnover." I said, "Yup, they didn't." I said, "That's my whole thing. Is there two in there?" I mean, I know it's like boom, 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 but now you go back to look at the play again, over and over again, and that's what I'm saying. That play. If Brandon Cooks keeps the ball, we're talking a different story. But then does he last a week after this? If they lose this week coming up, does he still get fired? Who knows? Like Bichetti said in his interview about John Harbaugh, they said if he'd have kicked the field goal and won, how long would he have last? How much time more did he have last as a Ravens coach? He said a week. So he was getting rid of Harbaugh regardless. Go ahead, Mo. You gonna say something, Mo?
No, I was agreeing with you
No,
one
I was,
week.
I was
I
agreeing
love
with
when he
you.
said that.
I love when he said that.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. He said a week. He was already he had it already in his mind to get rid of him. But that's what I'm saying. The inconsistency with the
And I
NFL
told y'all
is
at the
so
start of the
Told y'all at
season.
the start of the season.
Wait a minute, let's go back to
Wait a
this.
minute, let's go back to this.
That Harbaugh was on the hot
That
seat.
Harbaugh was on the hot seat.
yeah, you did. And I fought for him like tooth and nail. You know what I'm saying? I did fight for him. But again, the NFL is so they need to do something about this, man. They need to get they need to get this thing right, man, because it goes all the way back to the Tuck rule. That's when things start going wicky wacky. That's when everything was a little shaky. You know what I'm saying? It ain't been right since then. They still can't figure out what a catch is a catch, when it ain't a catch. If he had 2 feet down, if he had 1 foot down, if he had a knee down, had a butt down. Hold on. Like even the touchdown that what's Booty is named for New England caught in the end zone. Did y'all see that?
Mhm.
The ball hit the ground.
That was moving. That was moving.
That's not a touchdown, but they called it a touchdown. Come on, man. See, that's what I'm saying. Come on, get it right.
They said he got his hand under it, and I understand that. He did have his hand under
Yeah.
it,
He did have his
but
hand
it
up,
moved.
but it moved.
It definitely did move. It definitely did move, man. It just don't make no sense how they do this thing, man. So with Buffalo,
But they didn't review the Brandon
didn't
Cooks
review
catch.
the Brandon
That's the
Cooks
one.
catch. That's the one.
They didn't review it.
They didn't review it.
oh, they didn't. Oh, I thought they reviewed it.
No, they just
call it
that.
the
What's it
Buffalo
called? The Buffalo coach even took a timeout
Even took a timeout
to make sure that they had enough time to review it on the field. They reviewed it upstairs. They didn't review it on the field.
They wanted to move the game along or whatever.
You said they did expedited review.
That's what the
Expedited review my butt. They did a Denver, you gonna win.
You gonna win.
And if you think about it, they did the same thing with Booty, because when they said was it a touchdown, they went to commercial, came back, and they was kicking the extra point. See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
All play, but we know that all scoring plays are reviewed. We know that all plays that are turnovers are reviewed. But the thing about it is, when they call down and say it needs to be reviewed on the field, that's an object review. When it's done at NFL headquarters and they don't bring it down to the field, that means they're controlling it.
So we know that that's going to be a reviewable play now, down by contact or a fumble. I mean, a fumble's already reviewable. Anytime a turnover is reviewable. But the situation with Brandon Cook is going to come back up again as a reviewable play again.
You know how
it's already reviewed. It's reviewed.
It's reviewed. You give the coaches another challenge in overtime. When they go to overtime, all replays done by the booth. Give the coaches a challenge flag in the overtime. Because if Buffalo had a chance to challenge that play, they would have had to really dial into it a little more. But you know what? I don't feel sorry for Buffalo not one bit. That was not a catch.
Is you being a Miami? Does you being a Miami
coming from the Dolphin fan?
If you being a Miami Dolphin fan, does this have anything to do with that? Because that's why
What's the difference in me? What's the difference in me? I can honestly. This is Mr. Miller speaking honestly against the Ravens. Come on, man.
Oh,
it matters.
Come on, man.
Yo, I'm just saying the inconsistencies in the NFL is bananas, man. It's getting bad, and I don't even. And I'm thinking like, okay, so then add another referee in there, right? Add another referee. That's all I can say. Add another referee because, like for example, when Williams threw the interception in the end zone on their first set of downs with the Rams, we hurt his hand. He got slapped in the head. They didn't call that. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, yo, see, this is bananas. Now, you look at you look at the Bears. Nobody thought the Bears would be where the Bears are. So they like, okay, we're gonna let the Bears be happy, and we're gonna they're gonna play a playoff game at home, and that's gonna be it. They got to go, right? Patriots had the easiest schedule in NFL right now this season. Them and San Fran. San Fran had problems with players staying healthy. That was their demise. Again, I'm gonna still say this. I think he should get Coach of the Year. I don't care what nobody say. They can't change my mind. I don't care what Buffalo did. I don't care what New England did. What San Francisco did. With the players they lost during the season, and everything they did to do what they did. He deserves it. Simple as that. But you look at some of these teams and you say, okay, who will give us the best ratings as a Super Bowl? Because I think at this point in time, when you're down to the last 8 teams, I think they have an issue with who's there and who's going to go forward, right? I think they really do. I think there's some issues there. Ever since, I mean, I believe there's some trickery in it, but what really made me believe it was when they said if the Rams would have beat Atlanta, Vegas would have lost $8 million, and the Rams lost. Couple controversial calls in that game, and they lost. See, that's the part that really bothers me, man, because they're making it really obvious for people, and that's why I can't never bet on anything, because I would be so mad because sometimes sometimes the referees interfere in a good game. Mo, would you be all right with McCarthy coming to Pittsburgh?
Hell no. I don't know cowboy rebrands over in Pittsburgh. Hell no.
What did you say?
Hell no.
McCarthy.
I don't want McCarthy. I don't want the Buffalo coach. I don't want McDermott.
So
I wouldn't even want him LaFleur if he got kept by Green Bay.
So
I want a first-time head coach. That's why I don't want Flores.
Who would you want for your coach, Mo?
I want Shula.
Chris Shula.
Yeah.
You're a Chris Shula.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is his grandfather.
Yeah.
He was the one that gave Noel a chance in Baltimore.
Okay.
Still don't understand how
Harry,
how Shula got away from Baltimore to go to Miami, but
Curry, who you want for your coach for Miami?
Man, I really, not really. I don't have one. If they that they got from Green Bay, if you want to bring over the guy from Green Bay, I'm good with that. Like you were saying earlier, the GM need to pick his own coach, and he knows enough about that guy that if that's the coach, then I'll say roll with him. But if I had my choice, I probably would have wanted Tomlin. Yeah.
Speaking of Tomlin, Mo, what's this rumor about him having a baby outside of his marriage? Anything? Is this? I try to find something. I couldn't find anything.
True. It's just BS.
So okay. So is his wife pregnant though?
It's BS.
Okay, so his wife's not pregnant.
No, she was pregnant back at the end of 2024. They had the baby in 2025.
Okay, all right. So pretty much I think Tomlin sits out a year. I honestly think that he's burnt out. But then I was reading I was reading the article that said that it was a passionate conversation between him and the owner, and it didn't go the way that Tomlin wanted it to go, and this is why he stepped down. Now, how true is that, Mo?
That's not true at all.
That's not
The
true
owner
at all.
said in his press
Owner
conference
said
that
in
if
his
they
press
would have,
conference that
if
if they
Tomlin wanted to
would
come back,
if
they would have ran
Tomlin
it back
wanted
for
to
1
come
year.
back, they would have ran
They
it back
would
for
not
1
have
year.
extended him.
They would not
They'd
have
have let
extended
him
him.
play
They'd
on
have let
his
him
on his 1
play
year.
on his 1 year.
Okay. So talking about extensions.
Yeah,
And they'd have brought back Aaron Rodgers.
They brought back Aaron Rodgers.
Rooney said that he was prepared to run it back with Tomlin, but and I think Tomlin caught him by surprise by letting him know that he was stepping down. So he definitely was not tired.
So speaking of contract extensions.
But I would say this in all fairness to Tomlin. I beat him up about, they always, the Steelers fans always saying that he just never had a winning season and all this, a losing season, excuse me. But if you think about it, y'all still fans are going to have to live in the poverty line for a little while because the next head coach is not going to come in there and have a winning season right away. So, and he could, but he could not. He prepared not to have that winning season, and so that tree might get broke. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask why?
But if you do, you gotta give him time.
So let me before he answers the question, let me ask you a question. So is J.J. Watt asking for a trade out of Pittsburgh? Was that rumors too?
J.J. Watt doesn't play for Pittsburgh. You mean T.J.?
T.J. Watt.
T.J. did not want to play for
TJ did
another.
not want to play for another.
He didn't want to play for another coach. But he's not going to leave if Cam Hayward stays.
If Cam Hayward stays.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think when TJ made that.
But there is talk of trading.
There is talk of trading. So he wanted to, his career there. That's understandable.
All right. So you brought up another topic that I was going to say something about as well. You brought the topic of him being about him being traded. So I'm gonna say this. I think there's 3 teams that could benefit from players being traded right now. The Raiders. I would trade Max Crosby, get some picks back for him, and solidify the offensive line or whatever they do because they got number 1 pick. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, Chris, what's Chris' name? The defensive guy, Chris
Jones.
Chris Jones. My mind's all blank today. I'm trading Chris Jones and I'm getting some draft picks for him, and your boy T.J. Watt. I'm trading him to get some draft picks because if you get a new coach, you want to bring in some new blood. You definitely want to bring in some new blood to help out. Let's see here. Somebody was.
Can I ask a question?
Whoever's on the line, I apologize. I didn't mean to keep you on mute. Could have said something. I would have knew who you was. But if you want to call back in, I would definitely get you on the line. Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead, Mo.
Why does Curry think that the Steelers aren't going to be good next year?
Oh, Curry, did you hear that?
They were good this year. I mean, they were mediocre. Let's not get it twisted here like they were such a great team. And they were just a mediocre team. And that's what I've been trying to tell you for the longest. That winning season, all that's done was put you in mediocrity every year. That's why you don't have a good quarterback. And the same thing, I need to make that same comment with the Dolphins. And you finish 8-9, 9-8, or whatever you finish, middle of the pack. You know how you get a good quarterback? You lose games. Look what quarterback they got. Chicago, they don't even win the games. Look what quarterback they got.
How did Seattle get their quarterback?
The quarterback they got. You mired in mediocrity, you're not going to get a good quarterback. Unless you get one. So,
how did Seattle get their quarterback?
They weren't good this year.
Through free agency.
Exactly. New England got their quarterback because he was drafted. Denver got their quarterback because he was drafted. Brock Purdy was the 7th round draft pick. He was Mr. Irrelevant. Think about it. Even the Rams traded for a quarterback. So what I'm saying is Malik Willis could be that quarterback this year. Kyler Murray could be that quarterback this year.
Y'all better not get no Kyler
Even
Murray.
Deshaun Watson could be that quarterback this year.
Y'all can't. Don't get Kyler Murray. Malik Willis.
In the first round draft pick, we get another wide receiver, or we trade that third round pick that we got for Pickens for AJ Brown and put him and DK on the opposite side and get Malik Willis at quarterback or Kyler Murray. We got a good defense already. They showed in Houston that we could play defense. We gave them 2 defensive touchdowns versus defense.
You do got a good defense, but my thing is how many players will probably leave there that's because of Tomlin not being there is the question.
Ain't nobody leaving. The only people that won't resign is Aaron Rodgers. So that's where we're gonna have to pick up a quarterback.
So the average age of Pittsburgh Steelers is 27.1. So they're probably they are actually the oldest,
the youngest teams in the NFL.
No.
They're not the oldest.
You 27.
We're one of the youngest.
You're just 27.1 and San Francisco is 27.3. So you're right there in the middle. The average age is 26.
That's counting Aaron Rodgers.
Well, no, I'm just saying everybody.
You take Aaron Rodgers off our team
right now.
We're younger.
Everybody around 26. You got like the Jets are 26.0. Chargers are 26.0. But everybody's right around between 25. Well, Tennessee is the youngest team. Their average age is 25, right? And Kansas City, believe it or not, Kansas City's average age is 25.8. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they can't do nothing either because their salary cap is bamboozled and ran amok. Dallas, Cleveland, Minnesota, New Orleans, and Kansas City can't do really nothing this year unless that TV deal is on point. They're gonna be hurting for money. But so my thing is like, okay, so if we look at teams that need quarterbacks right now, free agent wise, if you're Malik Willis, where do you go that you feel like you have the best chance to win? That's the question. And then money will be a factor as well. Being a free agent is
what better team is out there than Pittsburgh? Except for Minnesota. But then Minnesota, you got a young quarterback that you're competing with. Pittsburgh, you don't have any competition.
I think Miami could be a possibility.
What are they gonna do with Tua?
Coach could be a possibility.
They gonna cut him?
The coach could be. They probably could. They probably could cut. Coach could be a part. If I'm
1 year, but they still got Robinson.
Richardson.
I mean Richardson. Richardson is coming back.
Yeah, but yeah. If I'm the coach, I'm going at the. If I'm a leak, I'm going to the coach because first of all, only time I got tested the outside weather is when I'm going to practice. Because when I'm at practice, I'm inside. That nice warm zone. He won't go to Raiders.
Nope.
Saints got their quarterback.
He could go to the Jets.
Everybody's he's not going to the Jets. He going to the Jets.
Ain't nobody going to the Jets.
Cardinals. So I think Miami could be a good place, and the Dolphins could be a good place, and so could the Colts, and Pittsburgh could be a place for him as well. But I think
why you say Pittsburgh's not exactly?
No, I didn't say Pittsburgh. What I said, these are options that he could go to. Miami.
You know what I'm saying? You left us to the end.
Because I always leave you out to the end. And the Steelers. I'm
Yeah,
just
because
saying.
you don't
Now,
like
I mean,
Pittsburgh.
You don't like
if
Pittsburgh.
I don't like, it's not a secret. It's not a secret. I hate the Steelers. It's not a secret, but I respect them. You know what I'm saying? A little
That's
bit,
no secret.
a little bit, a little bit.
You
I'm
got
just
no
saying,
respect. You think the immaculate reception was hit the ground.
Well, hey, I'm gonna say this. I did talk to Franco Harris about that before. And I'm gonna say this: I ain't gonna kiss and tell. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna say no more. But anyway, those three teams are teams.
Hey, let me get up, Mo. If you're Malik Willis and you're coming from Green Bay, would you rather go with the GM that's in Miami that came from Green Bay and possibly the head coach? Would you rather go with people that you know and trust, or would you like to go somewhere else? Now, money plays a big factor in everything, but I think he would. I think Miami could be a possibility.
Yeah, I think Miami could too.
Your answer to what they're gonna do with
I do too. If they bring somebody offensively from that he's already been comfortable with.
So looking at salary cap,
I agree with
Pittsburgh
that.
is
I agree
ninth.
because I see the defensive coordinator is the head coach in Miami now. But that doesn't mean that he liked it. That does also mean that he knew him that well.
Who's the head coach in Miami?
The defensive coordinator the
offensive
coordinator from Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Miami don't got no coach yet. You know,
Yeah, they do. They just get him today.
When?
It's a good chance he's Malik Willis could want to.
I thought they hired him today.
Mo said, did the Dolphins hire somebody today? I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, they hired Jeff Hafley, the Packers defensive coordinator. And that's what I was saying. That he was in Green Bay, but that doesn't mean he knew him or he liked it.
Oh, Finn's hiring Packers.
They did it 2 hours ago.
As new HC. Okay. Yeah, that pop. So there. So I'm telling you right now, yeah, it's looking bad for the Browns. It's looking bad for them. I want everybody to go. I want the border boy to go. I want the towel boy to go. The GM, the owner. I want them to all go. So okay, so
I throw you a 7th-round pick for Deshaun Watson.
Now you can do whatever you want to do. I don't care what you get for him. But again, I'm looking at
Baker Mayfield proved that Browns quarterbacks are better after they leave the Browns.
Miami a little stuck in money wise. They're 27th. They're negative 22 mil right now. Pittsburgh's there. Pittsburgh had 46 plus, and the Colts have 34 plus. Yeah. So, but I think money becomes a factor too. Where Malik goes now, if he wants to follow the coach from Green Bay to Miami, I'll be okay with that because Tua's time is done. They're going to eat that money like everybody else does and move on from him. This is as simple as that. But we had time. It's 7:49. So we're looking at some good time. Which team do y'all think won't make the playoffs next year? You know, there's always a team that never goes back to the playoffs next year. And in the AFC, you had the Pats, the Bills, the Steelers, the Jaguars, the Texans, the Broncos, and the Chargers. I'm going to say I don't think the Steelers make the playoffs next year. In the AFC. In the NFC, you got the Eagles, the Bears, the Packers, the Panthers, Seahawks, the Rams, 49ers.
Eagles.
I don't think the Panthers make the playoffs next year because their schedule is going to be tougher. They're going to have a tougher schedule because they won a division. They're going to get a tougher schedule. I don't know if they're ready for that. So those are two teams that I feel that don't make the playoffs. Anybody else different than me?
Eagles. I don't think they'll.
You don't think the Eagles? Okay. So now we only
Yeah, I
have.
think the Steelers could make the playoffs. Because I don't think that division is going to be that tough. I don't see where Baltimore is going to be that much improved. I don't see Cincinnati making a whole lot of moves.
I think this.
Cleveland,
I think. I think this.
it's probably not going to take as many wins Pittsburgh to make the playoffs as they did this year. So they could. I can see them still making the playoffs, but not necessarily winning. What they win 15 games, 10-7. They could do it with 9 wins.
So this.
Or they could hit them with a losing record.
These are the teams they play outside of their division. Jacksonville, the Saints, the Texans, the Colts, the Falcons, the Panthers, Denver, Tampa Bay, the Bills, the Eagles. So that's. Let me look at something here.
Depends on the quarterback. I could agree with you. If we don't get a quarterback from free agency, or also, I would say if we don't get one in free agency, we might have a losing season this year. And it would be hilarious because the Tomlin lovers will come out and say, "See, Tomlin was the man." But it's a great year to actually fall. Because this is going to be a good quarterback draft coming up in 2027. But we got the draft this year.
In Pittsburgh. I'm not putting a lot of weight into the quarterbacks coming out next year. I just don't. I'm not sold on Manning for sure, because if he was that good, he'd be gone. I'm not sold on the kid from Oregon, because if he was that good, he would leave. Now, for the reason why them two are not coming out, because they don't want to play for the Jets. Let's be real about it, right? But the kid from Oregon, he probably needs to play some more snaps. Like the quarterback from
South
Ole Miss.
Carolina
I think he's going. I think he's going in the draft. I think he's
got to come out. He has to, because they denied him coming back chambliss.
Okay. But then they let the quarterback from Miami come back. They let the quarterback come back and play a fifth year and don't take no classes. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. But I'm just saying, and you got Ty Simpson, who's from Alabama.
Don't nobody go to classes in Miami. All they do is do cocaine, baby.
You stupid. You stupid. Anyways.
Look at Michael Irvin, baby. Did you see him on Saturday Night Live? That skit was hilarious.
Wait a minute.
The quarterback class doesn't look like they're feeling right now, but it's amazing how that NIL and transfer portal can change the whole scope of how the quarterback looks now versus next year. Because I didn't see Mendoza being that great of a quarterback last year, but when he was at Cal, I didn't even know who he was.
Exactly.
But now and you look at Joe Burrow. When Joe Burrow was with
Ohio State.
He wasn't that good up there. But he got to LSU and he got behind those Mark Chase and they put him around that dynamic team. He looked great. So what the change, the quarterbacks may not look that good now, but they could look
Justin Jefferson
next year.
Yeah, see, but that's the thing right there. So, I'm just looking at 2027 mock draft 1 through 16. Cleveland Browns, Arch Manning, quarterback, Texas. Tennessee Titans.
Who was that? Who got the first pick?
The Cleveland Browns. I'm not. I can't make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. Tennessee Titans number 2. The Arizona Cardinals number 3. Raiders are number 4. Minnesota Vikings are number 5. They saying Minnesota goes after John Mateer from Oklahoma, quarterback. That's. And then Dante Moore goes to Miami in this draft. Well, let me see what other quarterbacks going there. Pittsburgh goes after Lenoir Sellers, quarterback from South Carolina.
That's what I was telling you.
Okay.
South Carolina quarterback.
So, yo, I can't make this up. I just can't make this up. I really can't make this up. And Myles Garrett signed.
But did y'all get the first pick again?
Ooh, they better be glad. I love them. That's all I got to say, man. They better be glad it's more than football. This reason I love them. But I'm just saying, I'm not impressed with any of the quarterbacks that's coming out right now, other than Fernando. He plays in the pro style offense, right? And as we know, most drop back quarterbacks do well when the game's on the line. And running quarterbacks, like if you look at what we have right now, the 4 quarterbacks we have, none of them are running quarterbacks. Now, Drake May run a little bit.
Nix is a running quarterback.
He ain't running.
Drake May runs.
I said Drake May, he runs a little bit if he got to run.
Yeah, that's called karma, baby. That's called karma, baby.
So Bo Nix is hurt. And
he deserved to get hurt.
So why?
Jarrett Stidham.
Why does he deserve to get hurt?
Because of what the NFL did to actually get Buffalo out. That was some bull.
He had nothing to do with that.
Dude, if they didn't get the catch, Bo Nix wouldn't have been on the field.
But Bo Nix ain't had nothing to do with that. That you got to blame that on the NFL. You can't blame it on.
I'm saying the NFL is karma. It's karma.
Do you guys?
They wanted Denver to win that game so much. Denver paid the price.
Do you guys think Stidham can do something with Denver? Because you know they were talking about bringing in some quarterbacks.
No, but I think that defense is going to get to him.
Ryan Tannehill's name had been mentioned as a quarterback for Denver, and then somebody threw out.
Why not just mention Drew Brees?
They threw Drew Brees out there. They said,
might as well.
They threw Drew Brees' name out there
for 2 games.
Cam Newton's name was thrown out there.
Bring back Peyton Manning.
Nah, you don't want to bring back. But that's bad luck. I'm sorry that it happened to him because I like Bo Nix. He's now I wasn't a Bo Nix fan at all, but he proved me wrong, and now I like Bo Nix. I'm a Bo Nix fan because he's doing some special. He did some special with Denver. You know what I'm saying? But Stidham, I don't know if Stidham can hold up. But now the thing about it is. New England don't do well against backup quarterbacks. Ask Nick Foles. He just posted on social media. So that should be a good game, I think.
Oh, so you said bring Nick Foles in.
But Denver, I don't know if Denver can. If their defense is that good, and even if the defense is that good, if they make it to the Super Bowl, Stidham can't be that guy. Carrying them to the Super Bowl. Now, one thing about Stidham, though, he can get revenge back because he was a quarterback for New England. You know what I'm saying? He was the one they probably shipped out for Drake May. So we'll see how this thing turns out. So
if you was a Denver defense, would you rather face Josh Allen or Drake May?
I would probably say Josh Allen because he takes chances. Drake May don't take a lot of chances.
Drake May had 3 turnovers last game.
Look at the weather. Y'all forgetting about the weather.
Yeah.
Y'all forget.
It ain't got nothing to do with the weather.
Are you forgetting about the weather?
Are you forgetting that he got his hand hit? I guess you didn't watch the game.
I did watch the game. He did get his hand hit.
We got 5 turnovers versus Drake May. It wasn't because of the weather. He holds on to the ball too long.
I'll take Josh. I would rather play against Josh Allen for the simple fact that he's a gunslinger and he's gonna force some throws because he's just that type of guy. Drake, they're not gonna Drake May, only thing Drake May has to do is just manage the game. That's all he got to do his job, and they'll be all right. If he gets back there and gets happy feet, then we got some problems. Even though they had the easy schedule, they took advantage of the easy schedule, and now it's time to this is where you butter your bread. And
I thought C.J. Stroud was the one that cost him that game because he just played terrible. He could the worst time to have his worst game.
I think now he hit his hand too, so I think something happened to his hand as well, right? Because you think about it, they came out at halftime and they drove down the field and scored, right?
Because he was terrible in Pittsburgh.
Well, then, but then, no, I'm talking about he got his hand. He hurt his hand against New England yesterday too. But again, this is what happens when you have teams that play inside the dome all the time and don't come up east, don't come across the equator and play in that cold weather. That cold weather matters, man. That really matters, And I'm gonna say this though, if you guys really think about this, there will probably be only it might be 3 to 4 teams that by 2035 they won't have domes, which would be Pittsburgh, Green Bay, the Giants, and New England, because they want those games to be cold. They want those games to matter.
Chicago's and Jets.
Chicago's gonna get a new stadium.
And Buffalo won't have a dome either.
No, they're getting the dome now. They're getting the dome.
You didn't say Baltimore?
You didn't say Baltimore?
I thought they're getting a retractable dome up there.
No, that's open stadium.
Oh, okay. I just knew they were getting a retractable dome up there because they were complaining about the snow. How the snow it causes problems for football games. So I thought I guess what they said is going to get a retractable dome. Okay, so they get a new stadium.
I don't think Cleveland and Cincinnati will have a dome.
No, Cleveland's getting the dome. They're getting the dome. But it don't.
When?
The new stadium they're building now is getting the dome.
They are.
Cincinnati don't get
it's still clear dome.
Cincinnati don't get as cold as it does in Green Bay. And I forgot about Cincinnati, but Cincinnati, if the city of Cincinnati, I don't know if they have enough room to build a dome in Cincinnati because you got to build it where you're gonna get the land from, unless it's gonna be outside of Cincinnati. I forgot about Cincinnati Stadium too, but they do get cold there. But New England and Green Bay and the Jets and Giants, I don't know if we're ever in Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh don't have the land to build a dome, because they would have to rebuild it all over again. They just don't have unless they go outside of Pittsburgh and do that. But they love to rock the stadium.
You serious?
No, they love to rock. They love to rock the stadium.
Mm.
They love to rock the stadium, so they're probably not going nowhere. So let's see where we're at. So, do we got Rich? Rich, you still alive? Or did Rich leave?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Hey, so question for you about the 49ers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see any? Have you heard anything about Robert Salas having any interviews at all? And if he did, what teams would they be? Do you know of? Because I haven't heard him. I heard his name mentioned, but I haven't heard that he did any interviews.
As far as I know, he hasn't done any. He's been mentioned to interview with Arizona, Cleveland. There was another one, but honestly, I don't think Salah's leaving San Francisco.
I think the job has.
And I think it's really he is a coordinator.
I think he's more than a coordinator. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good coach. I just think that they gave him a bad raw deal in New York, especially with Aaron Rodgers coming there and he got him fired. I think that was wrong of him for doing that. So I think Robert Salas has a future as a head coach. I think he has a future as a head coach. And sometimes you just need to have You need to get that experience to go back and do it again. Like we already know that the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, he would never get a job again. The defensive coordinator for Kansas City Chiefs would never get a job again. Those two guys, and I could probably think of some other people that probably won't get a job again as a head coach. They are definitely DCs and OCs. That's what they're good at, and they need to understand. They need to stick to that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be the case there. I know with the Browns, I'm leaning more towards Schwartz becoming the head coach because of the defense. But they need to really focus on the offense. I mean, they're defensively they good, right? They got all the key players locked up for a couple years. So they have to look at the offensive line. They got again look at that quarterback situation because I don't know if Shador is the answer to this team. He really doesn't have any weapons as a wide receiver. He got the tight end, Fan Jr. He got running back Judkins. You know, all of that's young. They all came in together. If I'm the Browns,
Yeah.
I'm trading Njoku and get some draft picks for him because he to me he deserves to be on a team that has an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? He's never asked for a trade. He's asked for a new contract. And some people they deserve it. They deserve to go play for a Super Bowl. They deserve it. They definitely deserve it to be on a team that has the opportunity to win a Super Bowl. When you especially if you play especially when you play on a team that has no inkling how to function as a full team, 53-man roster, it's just saddening. And I know when it feels bad when you play a season and halfway through the season you look and say, man, we're not even gonna make the playoffs. So you gotta find something to motivate you.
I got a question for you guys.
Yes.
And you tell me if y'all agree or disagree. All right. Here's what I'm thinking. So, hired McDermott because they knew that if they kept McDermott, that they were going to lose Joe Brady. So somebody's going to pick him up. Okay. So you're looking at it and saying, who's more valuable to Josh Allen?
Joe Brady is.
McDermott or Joe Brady?
Joe Brady.
And I think they probably weighed the percentages to say if we keep McDermott, we losing Joe Brady. So it's best in our best interest to get rid of McDermott and promote Joe Brady. They've already done that, but that's what I'm thinking. Y'all agree or disagree?
I totally agree with that. I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I mean, almost kind of like writing on the wall, isn't it?
Yes, I think that's exactly what they're going to do because they know that if and I don't know if Josh Allen had anything to do with the firing of the coach, but I want to believe he did. I really do. But you don't want to turn the ball. You don't want to turn the ball over 4 times. Not the coach. Not the coach, but you did. Not the coach, but you did. You know. But that I was reading an article earlier about that, and they're saying that if they're gonna that's where they're leaning to making Joe Brady the head coach for the Buffalo Bills because of the offensive knowledge that he knows. And stuff of that nature. So that'd be a good thing. All right, what we got? We got time. We got 20 more minutes. Let's see here. All right, so let's go with the picks real quick before we get into a little basketball. Mo, who you got? Denver or the Patriots?
Fortunately, I got the Patriots.
Rich, who you got? Rich, who you got?
I got the Patriots. I got the Patriots.
Okay. Lou, who you got?
Denver.
Ooh. Curry, who you got?
Go with Denver too. I think the quarterback is going to do enough to keep them in the game.
Oof.
Plus, New England is their first road trip.
I gotta go with the Pats. I think the defense stepped up yesterday. Let me get me out the way. Rams. Payback time. Curry, who you got? Rams and Seahawks.
So, man, I go with the Seahawks. They just look unstoppable.
Mo, who you got?
Seahawks.
Hater.
No, my sister lives in Seattle. I went out to the Seattle versus the Pittsburgh game.
Rich, who you got? Rich, who you got?
I got plane crash kills both teams. I don't know, Seattle. I don't know.
That's that pick is I don't care because it ain't my team.
Lou. Yeah, I don't really care.
Lou, Lou, who you got?
I gotta go with Seattle.
Okay. So I'm the only Rams that's going for whatever the case may be. All right.
Yep.
All right, guys. So Mo, I left basketball last. So they have the All-Star team. Oh, where's that? Guess who's not on it?
Embiid?
No. LeBron?
That the starter? Yeah, I saw that.
Not on the All-Star team. I'm kind of shocked because I thought the fans would have definitely pushed him in there. So this is how the All-Star selection works.
I thought it's just the starters.
Yeah, it's just the start. They ain't do the bench yet. It's what's this all on here? The fans are responsible for 50%. The NBA players are 25%, and the media panel is 25%. So that's how the All-Star game is picked. So in the East, you got Giannis, Brunson, Cade, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown. In the West, you got Joker, Doncic, Luka, Shane Gilgeous, Steph Curry, and Victor Wembanyama. So Dana was on here because now they're finally going to do what I asked them to do. And I tell you what, I'm so tired of them taking our ideas and not giving us no credit for it. They're going to play. This year's All-Star game will be featuring 3 teams. 2 will consist of players from the United States. The third will be made up of players from the rest of the world. I've been asking for this for how long now?
Number of years.
And hopefully they play the game for real. I really hope they play the game for real.
Yeah.
Let's see. It says conference reserves will be selected by the NBA head coaches on February 1st. Each conference will have 7 reserves. Previously, those 7 reserves were made up of 2 backcourt players and 3 frontcourt players, plus 2 wild cards. Now they too will be picked without regard to position. Okay. So we'll see what they have left over. So that's in basketball. So we know this is Martin Luther King Day, right? And we want to give a shout out to Martin Luther King. And as I was reading some stuff about him, I didn't notice that he graduated high school early and went to college at 15. That's incredible. he went to oh my goodness, what college did he go to? Somebody help me out here. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I cannot think of it right now. I had it written down. I don't know what I did.
Morehouse. I knew that actually.
Morehouse,
I
yeah.
knew that actually.
I don't know. Yeah, I know it was an M. I was going to say Morgan, but I knew. So he goes to Morehouse.
I can get back to my phone picking up. I was gonna tell you Morehouse.
But that's incredible. And you know, the more and more I think about this, the more and more I think that this country at that time period was more scared of him than they ever been of anybody else. I think they were more scared of Martin Luther King than it was Malcolm X. I really do believe. I really do believe they were scared of this man. And the only thing Martin Luther King wanted was peace, and he wanted everybody to be treated the same. And here we are, what, 40 years later, and our country still going through the stuff that Martin Luther King fought for. And I want people to understand is that he stood for everybody. He didn't care who you was.
Almost 60 years later.
I mean, 60 years. Thank you. He didn't care who you was, what color you were, what your sexuality was. He just wanted people to live in peace. And 60 years later, we're still having issues where people cannot live the life they need to live in this country. It's called the United States for a reason, right? What other country can you go to and you can become a U.S. citizen and then live your life the way you want to, prosper the way you want to? You know, there's a lot of bad things goes in everybody's country? Yeah, we're probably the best of all evils if you want to put it like that. But again, you can come in, you can live your life. You can become a billionaire, a millionaire. Look at some of the owners that own football, basketball, baseball teams that came here and built a company up, and now they're billionaires, right? And this country needs to wake up, man, because the rate that we're going right now it's not going to be good. It's going to be a civil war in this country, and that's sad because we shouldn't have one. And we all know why it is what it is. And some things have to change. And I'm not saying wait 4 years for it to change because it may be too late in 4 years. But the people in Congress need to get a pair and do what's right for everybody, not for just some people, but for everybody. In the state of Pennsylvania, Senator Perry voted against Medicare, and now Medicare is going up. All these things he's voted against to put money in billionaires' pockets. If you're a billionaire, why you want more money? Why you want our money? You know, and if you guys think about it, we're the only country I think other than Africa that we have to pay for like insurance and a medicine and stuff like. Now, Trump did come out and say that he wants everybody to have their own type of insurance, right? But tell a person that has existing illness that they they have to go out and buy their own life insurance. They got to go to the doctors. They can't afford that. They can't afford that. And I mean, it may be an ideal for him to want to do this, but at the same token, though, let people grandfather into what they have on now. And then you can say in 2030 that everybody has to have their own private insurance. If that's the case, then that's the case. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like my wife, she has medicine, right? Medicine went from $5 to $15. And who's getting the money? Not us, not the normal people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He passed all these tariffs, and not one tariff has been taken care of. He's talking about giving us money back for the tariffs, and nobody. Did anybody get a check in the mail? I ain't get a check. I ain't seen no check. I ain't seen no U.S. Treasury check come in my house. other than the military check. That's all I saw.
Wait a minute, you mean the
You
one?
know,
Wait a minute, you should have got your
Wait a minute,
military
you
check.
got your
But
military
then
check.
he
yeah,
said that he forgot about.
He
What do you
forgot
mean? What do you mean? I
what do you
mentioned
mean?
2,000 for everybody.
2,000 for everybody?
yeah. He said something before that everybody's gonna get a stimulus check for $2,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is but guys, listen to this. I don't think the United States is in the deficit as they say we are. They just say it so that they can raise the prices and everything.
Yeah, we are. Nah, dog. You gotta pay attention to
You gotta pay
economics.
attention to economics.
There's a reason why
I'm
we're
just
going
saying.
after Greenland and why we're going after Venezuela right now.
Well, I know even the
And
situation
soon
with
to be
Greenland,
Panama.
Soon to be Panama.
they're going after Greenland because of what they're trying to put in Greenland, and they want the billionaires want that land so they can do something to it. I don't know exactly what all is going on with it, but again,
but you know what's going on in Venezuela, right?
Well, I just know I know it was about drugs that he took over the whatever. No, tell me.
It wasn't about drugs.
It wasn't about drugs.
It was about oil.
It was about
because
oil.
Venezuela was giving oil to China. And if they gave oil to China, China could call in our debt, which makes the dollar less. And then we owe China, and then China calls in our debt, and we have nothing left.
So wait a minute. You said giving them oil, or were they paying for the oil? Because giving and paying is two different things.
Yeah, supplying the oil.
They were paying for it. They were paying for it, but at a cheaper rate.
Okay, so okay, I didn't know that part of it. I knew oil had something to do with it, but I didn't know how it played a part in what Trump was doing. But let me ask you guys a question though. So
this whole thing,
go ahead,
is a money grab.
Exactly.
Okay, so did you see how how Bitcoin just dropped? It's been over 100,000 forever. It just dropped down to $90,000 the other day, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, so Trump has launched. His family has a crypto company that they're just launching. That's where the Bitcoin went.
Right.
Okay, so and then Trump said, and this is reported by his press secretary, that what Trump plans to do with the oil sales from what they accumulate from Venezuela, he's going to put that in an offshore account and manage that himself, and it not go to the Department of Treasury. Like, this is, they've been playing in our faces this entire time, and they are just robbing us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's using American taxpayer dollars to build a private militia under the cloud of ICE.
You mean
But this is literally a private militia.
You talking about the 2026 version of KKK?
The 2026 version of the Third Reich. Like, this is Hitler type stuff.
Exactly.
This is a different level, and they robbed us. They're using our money to fund it. So then they come out and they put all this racist, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, this and the other, and that is to keep us occupied on that. They rob us.
Exactly.
And that's all it is. We're fighting each other. We're out buying all these guns and all this stuff. And all of this stuff is owned with white. And as they get richer,
Preach on.
it gets harder for us.
Preach on.
It's a grip. Like, this is all part of their little plans.
Again.
It's crazy.
Again,
this is a robbery.
This is not the vision that Martin Luther King vision this country being in
Not all.
2026. It's just sad that we're in the situation we're in now. As Black people, have we done better? I would say that with hard work, double hard work, we have accomplished some things. We established some things. You know, um, we're able to buy houses. We're able to buy businesses. We're able to live a comfortable life. You know, where our parents couldn't do that, or our grandparents couldn't do that. So the sacrifices that they made during those marches in Alabama, the boycotts, they all was worth something. And the sad part about it that really teased me off is that the younger people today have no clue. They have no clue what went on. You know, and I challenge people. I was like, look, I challenge you to go look at your family tree. Go look at your family tree and see how far it goes back. The average Black person can only go back 5 generations unless unless they indulge deeply into their family tree on either way. I'm fortunate enough and educated enough to know how to do it. So I on my mother's side of the family, I went all the way back to London, to London. And on my father's side, I'm stuck in the 17 I mean sorry, stuck in the late 1800s. So I have to go and do some investigating down in North Carolina, South Carolina border, somewhere down in Chester, South Carolina. I got to do some investigating to find out um this person's name. Once I put this person's name into my tree, then I can help me figure the rest of it out. But the average person don't really can't go there. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is not what Martin Luther King stood for, you know. And this country just it's not good, man. It's not good that, you know, my wife was gonna go to the farm show and I said to her, I said, make sure you take your passport, right? Jokingly saying it, you know, because my wife, she looks like she could be any different type of nationality. You know what I'm saying? Because there's plenty of times people walk up here and ask, do she speak Spanish? People come up to me and ask me, do I speak Spanish? Like, I don't look like I'm, nah, no, I don't speak Spanish. But my wife looked like she could be Spanish. You know, she could be Hawaiian. She could be Filipino. But the thing about it is, though, is like, even to make the comment, even though we joked about it, born and raised in the United States, and you still got to go through this thing. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, man, that we have to go through this, you know. And it all started January 6th, insurrection of the White House or whatever it was. When that happened, this country didn't do what it's supposed to do to put the hammer down on those people, and now this is what we're going through. You know, it's like Rich said, everybody's going out buying guns, you know, things of that nature, and nobody should have to live in fear. You should be able to drive down the street and not worry about nobody stopping you because of your color. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad, man. It's really sad. But anyway, I want to wish Martin Luther King a happy birthday. And we appreciate everything you did for us while you were here on Earth. If you're praying for us, pray a little harder, because I know this is not what you vision the United States being. Um, you got people that don't give a damn about nobody else but themselves. And the sad part about it, you can live the luxury life as you want to here, but when you die, you can't take it with you. It's not gonna get you into heaven, you know. So we got about 1 minute left, man. Anybody got anything else for the good of the day? Okay. With that being
Yeah, I ain't
said,
hated on Philly in a long time.
All right, guys. See you
But I'm
guys
hating
next
on the
Monday.
Knicks losing by 16 right down to Dallas.
Oh, by the way, February 1st, I will be in Boston for Pioneers Day. They'll be honoring Chuck Cooper, Sweet Nate Water, and Clifton Floyd. I think Floyd. The 3 black basketball players that got drafted in the NBA. They're having something for. They're having the Pioneers Day up in Boston, and me and Chuck, me and Chuck Cooper Jr. We're kind of tight, so I'm gonna go up there. That game's gonna be on TV. Milwaukee. They be playing Milwaukee Bucks. I'll be behind. I'll be laterally from the bench area. I'll be on the right side, and no seats over there. Nice seats. I got some nice seats for a nice price, baby. It was nice. They were real nice. I'm gonna go up and enjoy the game and celebrate some Black history. Which you guys know that's what I'm all about, man. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But with that being said, you guys be safe, man. Stay warm. I think Dana didn't come on because I think he might be under a little pressure from this game tonight. So get ready, get locked in, see what goes on with this game, guys. Hopefully have a good one. You guys have a good night, man. God bless.
You too, Don.
Okay.
The Sports World by K. Dix from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with a large heart. Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. And Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. Remember, we throw stones and we do live in glass houses. Big time players make big time plays and big time games. Stay ready to be ready. You have been listening to an In the Zone Sports Talk Radio production. Remember, you can hear us again on star107fm.com on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.